Tonight's episode, Touhou 10.1. It all started when I was looking for Touhou games to download. I finally reached a site. I forgot the link, but the page did look odd. The background was black. It seemed to have Touhou characters in the background made with white lines, but they were drawn in an odd fashion. Their eye sockets seemed empty, and their style looked creepily realistic. I shrugged it off and continued looking through the site until I found the game. It was Touhou 10.1. 10.1, I thought to myself and downloaded the file. When it started up, the menu screen popped up. It seemed to be made by Zun as well. I was confused how this game was never released or heard of. I decided to play the game later as I had some stuff to do first. I left the menu screen on for a while and went down to brush my teeth, wish, and so on. I finally returned and I could still hear the menu music playing through my headphones, but it was different. It sounded odd, like the sounds were all mixed together in an odd way. When I put on the headphones again, the music seemed normal again, so I looked at the menu screen. Again, it was like most Touhou games. Reimu on the cover of the menu, but she looked different too. Instead of the usual, she looked sad. Realistically sad that it sent shivers down my spine. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to play it anymore, but I clicked play anyway. The game seemed to be an unfinished stage, as there were only 2 difficulties available. I don't know what they were, as they were called differently. One difficulty was called Bad, which I thought would be easy mode for those that are bad. The other difficulty was titled Death, which I assumed being lunatic. As I never played any of the games on easy mode, I chose the death option. As I went to play, the screen flashed black and white for a moment. I assumed it was a glitch and the game started like any other game. But there was no music. The stage was called Path of Sorrow, which just added to the whole thing that the game was creeping me out. So I played to the mid-boss. The mid-boss seemed to be Rumia, but the sprite was slightly different from what it used to be. I defeated her without any trouble, but once defeated, it let down a terrible scream. It sounded so realistic, I was shocked and got hit by a random Danmaku because of the shock of the scream. That is an odd defeating sound, I thought to myself and continued to play. I reached the first boss of the stage, which was Wriggle. Red eyes, blood seeming to drip down the face as the conversation started. It wasn't long, only 2 lines by both characters. Reimu, you? Wriggle, why did you do this to me? As the battle started, Wriggle started to shoot what seemed like flies. Every graze I did, the Reimu sprite started to become more and more bloody. I thought that was an experimental effect of this game, since grazing like that in reality would at least cause some harm. When I defeated it, it let out again one of those screams and the screen turned black again. The screen flashed an image so fast I couldn't see it, but I was right on time to print screen it. I went to paint and pasted the images and I was shocked. On the image was a little girl looking just like Wriggle, body chopped apart and blood everywhere. There was a shadow on the image. It looked very familiar, but I couldn't get my mind on whose it was. I decided to keep on playing and everything went pretty much the same until the final stage. The boss was just a black figure, nothing more. Perhaps the sprite was missing, but the screen turned black, and all I heard was the sound of losing a life rapidly. This screen turned back to normal and it showed in big letters, "You are dead." There were no continues, only exit game. So I exit the game and the background of my desktop was changed. A woman, also looking like Reimu. Her head was torn off, which seemed to be by brute force. I shivered and almost threw up from the sight I saw. I decided to get some answers. After research, I found Zun's phone number. I decided to call. After many days of trying to call, he finally picked out. I explained what happened on the game. The answer I got was shocking. Delete the game, or you are next. In shock, I quickly hung up the phone. And then I remembered that shadow in the picture. That shadow. It was Zun's. Zun, the guy who made... So, okay.